Well, hello everyone, and welcome back for another edition of Lisa and Laurie and Challenge Chat. So with us today, we have the lovely Jamie as our special guest. Thanks for joining us, Jamie.
Hello.
So this is the last week in September, and it's for the week that starts the 27th of September, and it's only a 4-day week because the month ends on Thursday. So we'll have to come back later in the week to tell you all the things for the month that's happening. My goodness, there's lots happening in monthlies. All right, let's get straight into it. What are we starting with daily 30, Laurie?
Daily 30s Rhino Week. It started September 24th and it runs through October 8th. So the stitch counts for Rhino Week is 200 stitches or 2 hours for 3 tokens, 300 stitches or 3 hours for 4 tokens. And of course, the daily 30. So let's get into it. Prompt number 1. Stitch on a whip of your choice using black, white, or gray floss. You may use any combination of these colors to reach your chosen stitch count.
You're first, Jamie.
All right, well, I was actually just working on that one. I'm using Baby It's Cold Outside by Heartstring Samplery. You might be able to see it. If not, so I did 300 stitches in black.
Oh, wow.
Nice. You've gotten far on that. That's really good.
I'll be done tonight.
Wow! Yay,
Another finish, Jamie. Jamie's embraced knock it over. She's knock it over in September just to get them done.
Love it.
Fantastic. I'm just looking for mine. As always, too many things. Next year, I'm going to have my album organized far better. That's my plan. Oh, I had a lot of things that have those colors, but the problem I had was trying to find one that was on my 21 in 21. Here it is to work on. So I was double dipping this one with a challenge we had in So You Think You Can Stitch. And so I was stitching on the white and the black of this bakery cart in my old time wagons. But I only got to 200. I couldn't get to 300 because I was nowhere near any other white or black. I have to do some other colors first and then maybe I can throw them in.
I worked on this morning also, Jamie. I did Nevermore. And I'm using Weeks chalkboard down here in this bottom border. And there's plenty of it. I could probably do yours, Lisa.
Well, unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it doesn't. Okay, prompt number 2. Stitch on a whip with a plant.
So for this one, I did Gardner Good Witch by With Thy Needle. I did have it down here because it wasn't finished. But there's sunflowers in this one.
Yes, over there.
Over there.
Okay. I have lots of plants. Not much hard to do with plants for me. What about, share? What about the big plant in the pot next to Strawberry Fields Forever? You can't say that's not a big strawberry plant.
Yes, that is. And I'm really liking that. The more you show it, the more I'm like,
well,
hunt that down.
Knock it over.
So mine is, I am trying to knock this one over. Grounding force. And so strawberry plants all around, and the trees, of course, are plants. So there you go.
That's good.
And prompt number 3, stitch on your second largest whip.
So for my second largest, because I have some heids and they're all the same size. So this would be my second highest, would be my Disneyland piece.
And I love that one. Yeah.
That's also your extra credit for Crystal, isn't it?
It is.
For me, I'm thinking the same as you. My heids are all the same size, but therefore my first and second and third and fourth are all the same size. So I'm going to work on my stitch in time for exactly the reason I said for you. It's my extra credit for Crystal.
Very nice. I'm going to do this just for the people that might be watching this that haven't yet organized their whip list, or maybe are looking, but I'm sharing mine. And so these are my whips, or the ones I have kitted. That's what the TBD is. So my second is my favorite, As the Leaves Turn, but just, you know, laying out the stitch count and then, you know, calculating the size here really helps me stay organized. So that's what these prompts are all about, having a organized list. So that's really cool.
And that's something, as I said, I'm going to do for next year's list. One of the things that No New Starts is doing to help me with that is that the whip list, you've got to organize them into whether they're, well, small, medium or large whips, so that when, because I'm going to be doing worky whips, so I can replace finishes with new ones, but they've got to be the same category or smaller. And so I need to decide what they are, and it would be quite fascinating to know. And you add the, I think you add the sides together and then you divide by 2, and that gives you the sort of average stitch count. Now, admittedly, if you've got a piece that's not full coverage, a lot of those stitches are non-existent, but it's just done by the height and the width to calculate it. And I think that's going to be quite interesting to know. And then my plan is to organize my list in order: small, medium, large, or large, medium, small. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go yet, which will make this looking for things so much easier when I do the videos, because I'll be able to go, oh, it's a big one, it's at the top, or whatever.
Yes, exactly. So prompt number 4, stitch on a whip with a bird.
So that's when I'm doing Baby It's Cold Outside too, because it doesn't have a bird in the pattern, but I will be putting a cardinal on top of the house because it was a stitch along for Leanne from Lost and Floss, and she passed away. So
Lovely.
I will have a bird on it.
That sounds like a good plan.
Yes.
I am going to do Anzac. There are plenty of birds. We've got a galah and a magpie and even penguins. And then there's also a kiwi bird and a whole bunch of birds on there. So I will work on my Anzac.
And I just showed Nevermore, and that's
There's
making
a big
appearance
bird
again.
on that. Yeah, definitely.
Yes. So last prompt, stitch on a whip of your choice and tell us what your unicorn chart is, or what is top of your list to buy.
So for that one, I also did the same whip because I'm trying to get it finished. I don't really have a unicorn chart, but my number 1 to buy list right now is the giant squirrel from Cottage Garden samplings. It's in my 1, 2, 3 stitch cart.
I didn't think I had anything left that I wanted to buy. And then yesterday we found something I wanted to buy, didn't we, Jamie?
We did.
It was the first one.
Seeking Refuge by the Scarlet House.
Thank you. Seeking Refuge by the Scarlet House. We had a huge discussion about the trio, and I looked at them all and it's like, no, I still like Seeking Refuge. However, I'm not starting that. So instead, I worked on a model stitch, Let Passion Be Your Motivation, and it was, I worked on it and finished it. So that was a good way to knock it over. I love prompts where I can slot anything in. It's good.
I don't have a unicorn. I don't think there's anything, you guys kind of know what I've been talking about. I don't think there's anything that I've been looking for that I haven't gotten already. That's really bad. That's why I need to get through these whips. So I would just stitch on a whip of my choice, and yeah, I can't think of anything I want. Oh well.
No. Well,
So the final prompt is the daily 30. Again, you stitch 30 minutes a day, any whip you choose, and you post a start and finish in within the 5 days. Now that we've already gone a little bit into the week, 5 consecutive days get you those extra points.
Yes, they finish on the Friday afternoon, which will be the 1st of October, but it's not a monthly related thing. It's just a weekly thing. So it crosses over the month. Well, thank you for that, Laurie. The next one we often talk about is Supernatural Stitchers. And this week is season 5, episode 10, Abandon All Hope. So that doesn't sound good. I've not
Oh.
watched this episode yet, so I'm way behind. I'm like back in season 3 or something, I don't know. All right, so remember, people, this one is for you to stitch however many hundreds you want to stitch. You don't have to do them all. There's a lot of prompts, and every stitch you do can earn you imaginary dollars to spend on your stash. So that's a good thing. All right, first one. Stitch on your project that was the most costly to kit up. Know what's going to come out of Jamie's, not Jamie's, of Laurie's mouth. I'm not sure about Jamie though.
Mine would probably be the Owl Forest embroidery kit, just because the whole kit you have to buy as a kit, and it was costly. So I have Baba Yaga.
Nice.
And yeah, she was kind of expensive.
They're great designs, but yes, the buying the kit makes it not as economical.
Yeah.
And me.
Yeah.
A lumber garden.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah. And I kitted it myself because we have a really nice local beach shop. So yeah, it was still up there.
Still up there. Well, I bet you don't know what's coming for me either.
Yeah.
Jinx, I match with you.
Jinx.
Chatelaine, Chinese garden mandala. I also half kitted it myself because I was trying to save money. And so I DMC'd it instead of all the silks. But I actually wouldn't bother doing that again because realistically, the amount of time and hassle it took me to try and find the substitutes, and I think next time I do a chatelaine, I would just get the whole thing. It's worth the money just to get it all. I did buy the bead pack, obviously, from ECC because they do a great job. Okay. Stitch on a project that falls into the snark category. This is because Sam and Dean were called the Hardy Boys and dubbed as functioning morons. So, do you have anything snarky? That's not really in our repertoire, is it?
No, I mean, I'm trying to think if I have anything that has a catchy saying, but they're all pretty wholesome.
We're not very snarky here. We're very sassy, but not snarky.
Right, and my cross stitch definitely doesn't ultimately reflect my personality, so.
I'm looking to see.
No, I don't think I have anything.
I'm trying to pull up a picture because I was unprepared for this. I have it. It is not currently a whip, but it will be a whip in 2022. And so I'm going to show a snip of this. Lisa, if you have one prepared, I can.
Yep. Okay, while you're digging it up. Yeah. I don't have snarky either. The closest I would have would be my Among Us. It wasn't me. Red is sus. Because particularly when you're saying red is sus, you're pointing the blame at someone who's probably innocent. So it's not really snarky, but it's mean. That's about the closest I can get.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to see if I can share a snip screen. Yeah, kind of. Okay. So this is a long dog and it's called Words Alone, and it's a Dutch sampler, and it basically translates into talk is cheap. And I really want to hang this in my office. And so that's as close as I can get to snarky, to put it in another language.
Love it. Love it.
Okay, stop share.
Okay. Well, there you go. So there you are, viewers. Today's guest and Laurie and I do not do snark. Okay, I think most of our guests don't, but anyway. Stitch on a project you want to finish and get out of the way so you can focus on the next item in your plans. Well, that sounds very fitting. Jamie?
Tonight I will be finishing Baby It's Cold Outside.
I've got to look to see which one. I mean, I've got many choices. I don't know which one I'm going to be doing next. What about you, Laurie?
I'm going to work on grounding force. I want that to be the next one I finish.
I don't know if this will be the next one that I will finish, but this is one that I've pulled out to work on, my Spring House Trio by Waxing Moon Designs. So it's one of my knock it overs, and I'm about halfway through all three. I've done the borders, I've done the houses, and I've done the grass. So I've really just got to do all the fiddly bits. I don't know if that's quicker or slower.
Mhm.
Oh, stitch on a project that is photorealistic. I know what Laurie's doing.
Yes. Just scrolling down to it. Okay. Share my screen. You see it?
There it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
Stream it, Dark Haven. Yeah. It's very photorealistic. Okay.
Jamie's still pondering.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything that would be considered like photorealism at all. Because
Okay.
nothing is proportionate.
Well, I have one. I won't be stitching on this week, but if I was going to choose to do this prompt,
Oh,
my mountain cabin, to me that's photorealistic, so I would work on that one. So beautiful.
Yes.
Jamie's still looking or giving up?
yeah, no, I mean, I don't really have any nature scenes or anything like that.
Okay, this next one I'm not doing, but you guys might. Stitch on a single project every day this week as a focus piece.
No.
Are you doing that? You do that, don't you, Laurie? Daily 30?
I'm going to try to do that to finish the grounding force this week.
Grounding force, lovely. Stitch on a project that is proceeding slower than you'd like. Name a piece.
No.
Right?
So many.
I would say probably my Disneyland piece, just because I feel like I've put lots and lots and lots of stitches and I'm not at 50% yet. I'm at 49 point something percent.
For me, Language of Flowers, which is meant to be an alpha my bet style with semi-sane. And man, these flowers, they're gorgeous, but there are lots of color changes and it's going slow.
Can I just point out there's a rare visitor. We have Ficus there.
I saw him.
Right.
And he's gone to the comfy chair. He rarely makes a visit. He's very keep to himself, that cat. The dogs are on the ground. Okay, I actually think it's this one for me. A very scary Halloween, because I bought them thinking they were 3 smalls, and they're not. They're like 3 mediums. They're huge. Like each one is about this big. So there's 3 of them, so it's taking a lot longer to get through than I thought it would, looking at the pattern. Stitch on a project that includes 2 adult figures or a mother and daughter pair. This seems like the flip side to last week. Didn't we have a father and son? A mother and daughter pair or 2 adult figures.
Yeah.
Don't have a lot of people.
No, I was thinking you don't have a lot of people.
I understand.
Or I have like single people
Mhm.
versus a pair of people.
I will pop up really quick because it's as the leaves turn, everybody should know this like by heart.
Yes.
Every week. But there's 2 guys here, but there's a ton of adults back there on the trolley. So
Yes.
Okay.
I can't say mother and daughter because that boy definitely would not be a girl with the mother at the front.
no.
Got one?
So actually, I have to put some stitches into Spellville because I'm still like 100 short. And there are two witchies there that could be mother and daughter learning from one another.
There you go. Awesome. See, you do have something.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Easy. Raspberry Homecoming. There's definitely a mother and daughter there.
Mhm.
Plus, there's at least 2 adult figures too. So I'm covered either way round.
Yeah.
So this is great. I do find, having the 21 to choose from narrows it down. All right, the next one we don't have to say, but the phrase to fit with for the name of the piece, the designer, first or last name, or the design company. So it's pretty flexible. I've dyed several times myself. So IVEDSRALTMYF. Lots of letters there to choose from. Do you know how much that uses my brain to deduct the letters we've already said? Okay. Stitch on a project that indicates the other side. So deaf. So it'll be some sort of a Halloweeny project, I would imagine. Hello from the other side.
Right. So I always work on Midnight Way, and there is a ghost in a bookshop. So
Yeah. For me, Nevermore, there's a graveyard in the back behind the crow. So
You're getting Nevermore into a lot of them.
mhm.
I'm looking for mine. I actually have one. I'm loving the fact that I can fill all these prompts. It's really, really good. Okay, we would stitch on Sleepy Hollow by the Tiny Modernists, because you cannot tell me that the ghosts and the skeletons dancing are not from the other side.
True.
So that would be an easy one for me too. All right, next one is stitch on a project in which you have so far made no errors or fault.
I don't think there's any that I have not made any errors in, because I don't believe in frogging.
Yes.
Actually, okay, I lied. Because Autumn Quakers I've only stitched on one time this year, and I only put 200 stitches in.
So there you go. You haven't had to frog because you haven't worked.
I haven't had to frog. It hasn't been called on Whipco yet. So.
Oh, there you go. That works well. What about you, Laurie?
There is not a single project that I haven't unintentionally modified in some way.
And you are very particular to get it right, so you do tend to fix it.
Yes, I do.
The only thing I can think of, I'm a bit like Jamie. I mean, I'm particularly good at modifying, but when I finished the Passion model stitch, and we know I'm really bad at model stitches, but these ones are really easy. The next one I'm doing, which is Be Afraid, is I've just started it. So I've done 200 stitches on it and I have not made a mistake yet. So I would have to continue working on that, which is a bonus because I want to get it done anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, stitch on the 5th project in your WIP album. Come on, get your albums up, girls. Your 5th project.
Okay, so the 5th one in mine is Once Upon a Time by Frosted Pumpkin.
Oh, that's
cute. That needs some love, so that's good.
It does.
Yeah, that's hard.
See, I'm in my WIP album on No New Starts 2021, so it was easy. Number 5.
Yes, well, I just went to my list because when it displays on the computer, you get it in the columns, and I don't know if they go down or across. Yeah.
So
how they're arranged in this album.
It's so funny. So I sorted it by alphabet and it was Cozy Cove. And I was like, I really don't want to work on that. So I sorted by size and then it's Stormy. And I was like, I doubly don't want to work on that one because it's.
So it would be Cozy Cove. Show us your Cozy
Cove.
Well, for me, I'm not going to be working on this one. My Cutaway Castle is the 5th one on my WIP list from 2021. So yes, but if I go with what you just said, Laurie, let's see if we come up with something better. We go to the top. Do you reckon I go downwards, or do I go across and count that as 3, 4, 5, in which case I'd get bird in hand? Or if I go down, that one's finished, so it would be my needlework ABCs that I want to work on. So I think maybe we'll go down the column, needlework ABCs.
Yeah.
That works better. Okay. Last one, stitch on a project that portrays a night scene or includes an owl.
Oh, since I'm already working on Baba Yaga, there's an owl right there in the middle.
Yes. Jamie, your whip album would be dangerous for me because you have a lot of cute whips in there.
Oh, just wait till I add the 30 new ones. They're real cute.
You know, I'd have to do Stormy on that one. I haven't shown it in a while, so let me show it. Oh,
She's so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, the owl.
Hanging in there.
You haven't shown it in a while, since last week, yes.
Yeah, no.
And for me, it would be the Sleepy Hollow, because that's a night scene. Okay. So as we discovered last week, there is another weekly one that we can share with you, and that is the Mythological Stitchers. And they do everything mythological, and this is the last week, week 5, of the cryptids A to Z. So we've got the end of the alphabet. All right, W is for White River Monster. This is an aquatic cryptid from Newport, Arkansas. So you have to do 200 stitches with grey floss or a project with a car. Now the grey floss would fit in beautifully if you were choosing the grey option for the daily 30, but we didn't. So grey floss or a project with a car.
Well, for me, do you have one ready, Jamie?
I do.
Okay, you go. Sorry.
So, because I'm already working on Disneyland for extra credit, there in Tomorrowland, there is a car over here.
And for me, it would be World Travel. There's a car right down there.
Such a great piece, that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for me, I'm not going a car. I don't think I have any cars, but I am wanting to work on Evergreen Lane. And if you see, there's a huge, great big grey house there, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
So it's on my knock it overs for no new starts. So I would work on that. All right, X is for Zao, Xiao, a raucous bird, mythological bird-like creature who resembles Microraptor or Changuraptor, which are dinosaurs who lived in China in the Cretaceous period and fit the description of Zao. So 200 stitches on a project that has something with wings or where only one eye is visible. This could double dip very nicely.
Right, so I would double dip it with my Baby It's Cold Outside, because I'm going to stick a bird on there, and birds have wings.
Yes. And I was thinking of your Nevermore.
Yes, Nevermore would do it.
And for me, I would do double dip my Anzac because they've got big one-eyed birds facing sideways too. So this is an easy one for us to double dip into today. Y is for Yeti, the abominable snowman, Asian Bigfoot found in the Himalayas. So a project with ice or snow, or that you can relate to Asia. I'll jump in. Mine came to mind very easily. My Animal Kingdom bookshelf. One, because there's Asian animals, pandas and different ones, plus there's ice and snow down the bottom. So I could cover both parts of that prompt if I use my animal kingdom.
I would put 200 stitches in Disneyland because of the Matterhorn. There's snow on that mountain.
Definitely.
And an abominable snowman.
Yes.
I would do World Travel Bookshelf. There's a few Asian countries represented, and there is snow in there.
Awesome. And then lucky last, Z is for Zaratan, a gigantic sea turtle described in folklore and literature whose shell looks like a sloped rocky mound several hundred feet in diameter. Sailors mistakenly see its shell as a small tropical island. Okay, so stitch on a project you can relate to the ocean or a tropical island.
Get cracking for me. And that's in the ocean.
Yes.
Well, I would probably pull out Anzac because, you know, it's a big old continent in the middle of an ocean.
Well, you guys are going to laugh at me, but I instantly thought, oh, I could work on my numbers sampler. Except I finished it.
That you finished it.
So I would be going with Anzac too, Jamie, because that's got all the ocean in it. And that's it. So there you go. They also have an option. If you prefer other hobbies, you can choose to work on another hobby for the time and tell how it fits into a prompt. So if you do diamond painting or crocheting or knitting or something, you might want to crochet a little, you know, animal for the sea. Yeah, anyway, an interesting option for you. All right, there's nothing specific happening in No New Starts this week because we're getting ready to roll around. We're still just basically getting ready to roll around to the new year. Now, Jamie, you are our special guest. So what are your plans for No New Starts next year?
My No New Starts plan is to work my whips without any new starts except for one for my birthday start.
Cool. Well, that's a good plan to do. All right, so that's what Jamie's planning, and you know what Laurie and I are planning. You haven't changed your mind yet, Laurie?
No, pretty much the same.
Lots of people are getting very enthusiastic, you know, joining the group, which is awesome, and getting their whip albums started to get together. So that is fantastic. So yeah, just take this time. You've got 3 months to get it all together. You can change your mind, whichever group you want to be in until the 31st of December. Just make sure you name your whip album as per the instructions. It's I think it's the group first and then your name, and then you yeah, just put your photos on and get it together. You can delete them and whatever you need to do. And so it's going to be good. We will be putting more details into No New Starts 2022 in the coming months, just drip feeding you things that ready for next year, but we still need to finish this year. And there's so many people still going really strong. So it's great. So we've still got lots of fun things coming, and I'll tell you a bit more about what's happening in October at our next video. All right, Jamie, what's happening in some of the other games?
So if anyone is in Dynasty, currently the quest is over for this round. But starting on October 1st, there will be a new event, but more information will be coming, I'm assuming, in the monthly video. Crystal Academy, we have 1 more week left on our last spell. And then I'm assuming we will have some type of final exams, but there is no information available for that right now.
Awesome. Laurie, what else?
So we have So You Think You Can Stitch. That is basically a game based off of reality series. Currently, this reality show is Amazing Race, and we are, leg 4 has been released. So no matter where you are, either leg, I think most of the groups are in like finishing 2, 3, or in starting 4. It's not super competitive, but it is challenging, and it's competitive enough to make you want to go faster, but it's not so competitive that you'll get eliminated like the show. So that's fun.
I'm loving the fact that we work really intensely for a couple of days, and then we have a couple of days off to relax, because our team, that's what's working with our team, and it's fitting in very nicely with the time zones that we can just sort of chuff our way through. It's lots of fun.
It is. And just like the Amazing Race, to throw this extra out there, you get to know your teammates a lot better because it requires a lot of communication, which is also fun. So meeting new people, that's really fun. Survival of the stitchiest. Loki is causing havoc. So more to come tonight, pretty soon, I guess. I don't know that that's released yet, but anyway.
Yeah, well, we just had the dice roll, and we actually got the lucky last number because I was asleep. So we got 15 extra treasures. So that was nice. So for our group, when we're in the middle of a dragon hunt at the moment, so we're working on that. But when we finish the dragon hunt, when we go on our next hunt, we earn that 15 extra treasure with that hunt. So there'll be another hunt straight after the dragon, needless to say.
Okay. Nice. And then pirates, what is the official name of it? I've always called it Pirates, and it's now the official name has escaped me.
Is it Pirates Ahoy?
Pirates Ahoy. Okay.
Which game?
Yes. So we a few weeks back, we chose to keep our ship, even though we were sucked into this whirlpool, whatever. So we are restarting our map because that was kind of our penalty. And so we have just left the desert, and we are sailing. Are we to our next destination yet?
I would say we've arrived at our next destination when I go to look at it, and I don't remember what that is, but in the desert, it was cool. It was 250 stitches to dig, and we dug 29 times and got a whole pile of great stuff, which is good because we lost half our supplies when we got our ship back. Okay, any others?
Utopia is a newer game. And there's kind of like, you choose a country to represent. You try to get settlers to, I guess, move to your final settlement land. So it's very much in the beginning stages. We are just stitching for basic supplies like a weapon, a horse, and a bedroll, that kind of thing. And also there is kind of like a story quest going on, where you can recruit followers and chase bad guys. And so it's a lot going on. Definitely interesting. And it is a team kind of challenge again. So.
And it's very Dungeons and Dragon-esque. And I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, but you have to think it's got the really cool storylines, sort of like Dynasty does, where you're telling out the story as you go. I know in our group, we actually went and found a gypsy camp, and we found an old woman who was able to answer a bunch of questions and tell our future. So that was lots of fun. And now we're back, we're on our way to a cattle yard. So we might be able to buy some cows. I don't know. Cows would be good on a ship, wouldn't they?
Yeah. Fun. That's it. That's all I've got.
All right. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, our special guests, for coming in. And we will look forward to catching you later in the week for the monthly video. But until then, happy stitching, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.